Welcome to the Ave Podcast. We back. The trio's back. So I'm joined by the College University Hall of Famers, friends of the podcast, Mr. Jan Michael Nation. You can read his name across the screen, and Anthony Batchelor, aka Batch. How you guys doing today, man?
What's happening?
Not much, man. Not much. So we went through what hell of a storm did we go through this weekend, man? What the hell? Like, how much shoveling did you guys do? Because luckily the wife did some for me because my back.
Oh.
Okay, I thought that was me.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's not. I'm glad that's not me. Thank you, Lord.
And now for our sponsors.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta put this in. Hey, whatever happens, you gotta put this in, man. You gotta put this in. Wow. What happens now? Does he? Do we lose him? Are we the host now?
I don't know. That's a cold freeze zone they got on right there. Oh man, and that timer's still running.
We might as well just continue with the conversation. You did something?
I mean, I guess like when we talking about shoveling.
Yeah, no.
I got kind of lucky.
He's gone.
Oh, he's gone, man. Wow. I got kind of lucky with the shoveling. I don't have a lot of driveway. I don't have a lot of walkway. So for me, it was just kind of, do I do the pre-shovel, and then as it gets heavier, then go out for a second time? And I was like, man, forget. I'll wait.
I remember the big hits. We got hit on Wednesday. Was it Wednesday last week? Wednesday?
Wednesday going into Thursday. That was light to me. The one on the weekend, I feel was heavy.
Tough. Yeah. 3 to 5 minutes max, especially if it's a newer car. 3 to 5 minutes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Maybe the older ones might take some time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys have been up the whole time. That was just me. That's crazy.
Yo, the question is, I don't know if it's part of your sponsors. Who is your internet, bro? Who is your provider?
Yeah. Okay. There's a Vegas line right now. I said Rogers. Batch, what do you say?
I don't know. Who's the other one?
Is it the Fido?
Fido? Yeah, one on cat.
Oh man! All I remember is I was talking about the snow, and then everybody's screen just went black.
We continued for you. We don't need to go on that. We took care of that. Batch gave us
I'm back. I'm back now. I'm back. You know what? I'm keeping this in. I was gonna.
You have to, man.
All right, fuck it, man. Let's get into the All-Star weekend, man.
Yeah, might as well. May as well. What were your I was gonna say what were your thoughts, but and it's funny because I don't want to talk about the All-Star game because I know everybody's talking about the All-Star game. But even before we started, I was kind of like, I feel like we can't ignore it. Like we gotta talk about it because the product, man, the product's getting cut. You know, like what do we do with All-Star Weekend? What do we do with it?
Get rid of
I like the fact.
Sorry, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I just think we have. It's kind of hard because we're older, so the NBA is shifting from the diehard fans to get to the more casual fans. So I think in doing that, you can see where money comes into the play, the business side of things come into the play. I think over the years, it was a chance because social media is like blown up to like the exposure for these players. It's so like we know everything about them. Before, back in the days, we only know what we saw them and what we read about them in the papers.
It was a mystery.
I think that
still.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
More of a mystery,
some of them,
anyway.
Yeah. Obviously, Michael Jordan was like the patriarch of everything, but at that time, but these guys, when they were playing, it was a chance to show who they were, where they are compared to the elite, and and it was very competitive. I think it's changed over the years because the game's changed.
players are have a different mindset, more money, more corporate sponsors. I see the NBA is trying, but they're still falling short. And from the shoot off is still good. The 3-point shooting competition. I like the skill stuff, but it's still missing that flair and that excitement that I used to have. I think the last excited dunk off was the one in Toronto.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But people were just going crazy. And then was that Zach LaVine?
Well, no. I wouldn't say that because everybody forgets the one in 2020 with LaVine and not LaVine, with Gordon and oh my gosh, what do they call the cat, man? The left-handed guy. He's on the Clippers now. What's his name? It's not Derek White. What's his name again? The Leaper.
Oh yeah.
Why am I forgetting his name?
No, Derek Jones is there now. Derek Jones is there.
Derek Jones. I think it's Derek. Yeah.
He's with the Clippers right now.
Yes, it's him. It's him. Well, him. I don't know if you remember that with him and Gordon had the.
Yeah, but the one with Gordon, it was a back and forth.
I don't know. Toronto.
The Toronto one was better, but that was the last good one.
Oh,
the last competitive one, I would say.
Fair enough. Okay, yeah, fair enough. So it's just lost its flair. The NBA is trying different things. I thought the format of the teams playing, the coaches and the teams picking the players, I thought that was interesting. I didn't like the fact that one of the rookie teams was in there because I just thought, right?
That wasn't a good look.
That wasn't a good look, especially if they were to win. Say if they were to win, then what?
Can you imagine?
Right? Yeah. So you could tell that they're playing with things on the fly. That's what it looked like, and we're just able. And because we have such. I'm not going to get overly. I didn't have any expectations, to be honest with you. I don't have any, and so it's Valentine's weekend, so there's other priorities, obviously. But I mean, you know what I mean.
Which has never heard it before, but.
Huh? Sorry.
I said, which has never heard it before, to be honest.
No, but my priorities have changed. So. It just put things in perspective. I watched bits and pieces here and there, and that's what it was. I wasn't too high, it wasn't too low. That's what it was for me. Because I don't want to get let down like I've been. And I used to go like parties and stuff to watch this stuff, and it'll be so we're just having more stimulating conversations than watching the dunk off or the game because these guys are goofing around. They're not taking it seriously. I think you got to put more money into it. I think they're being cheap. Put up $1 million for the winner who wins a dunk off. I think more guys will come out for that.
More stars. Yeah, exactly. Huh? Yeah, more stars for sure.
Yeah,
more stars for sure. I think that Friday, I don't even pay attention to Friday.
Neither do I.
All-Star Saturday was okay. I think the 3-point shootout was actually more exciting than it was the dunk contest. Mind you, Stephon Castle, extremely underrated. That's all I got to say on that one. I think with that whole All-Star Saturday, 3-point shootout was probably the more exciting because you have actual stars going at each other, as opposed to on the dunk contest, it's we can't get the stars that everybody wants to see, so we got to start picking and grabbing all these. I don't want to call them randoms, but we got to start picking and grabbing other people that people don't know about. Like, if you're not following the San Antonio Spurs, you have no idea that Stephen
Castle is.
Exactly. You have no idea that he has some sneak bounce.
He has a weird bounce, eh?
Wow. Man, it's crazy, man. The Buzelis guy, he's long and lanky, but at the same time, I don't think he should be in a dunk contest. That's somebody you got to watch coming up as a rookie. Like there's different things that you're looking for out of these players, and then you got who's the other one?
Andre Jackson.
Andre Jackson, another solid player, but a role player, right? You want to see how he develops as a player and how he can be that role player for the Milwaukee Bucks and see how far he can help them get to the next step. Because there's not a lot of faith in the Milwaukee Bucks and getting too deep in the playoffs. But then you have Matt McClung. I'm not gonna lie, man. Listen, he got some stupid bounce, but I'm calling some things, man. That's very questionable to me, man. I think he's leveraging himself, man, because a lot of his dunks seem to be the same. He's grabbing that ball out of somebody's hand, and he's getting up. And what made me even more suspicious is the fact, yo, how tall is this guy?
He's like what?
Yeah, I think 6'2", 6'3", something like that.
He's 6'1". No, he's not 6. He's 6'3".
No.
Actually, I don't even know. He might not even be that tall. Actually, he's not come to think of it.
The fact that this guy's clearing a car, I had to think about my own vehicle, man. I was like, can I even jump over I don't even think I can jump halfway across my hood. Pause. I don't think I can say that on camera for all the young bucks listening. Pause. I'm gonna take that one back. I said that. So, you know what I'm saying? Jumping over a vehicle, that's crazy. But for him to go ahead, grab a ball, jump
he's
over a car, he's 6'2".
Yeah,
man. Listen,
he's stocky.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Farm boy body build, you know.
Nah, man. I mean, listen. I'm not taking nothing away from him. He's got bounce, but man, I gotta see something different. He does the same dunk almost every time, anyways.
But I'll give him this. Okay, listen. But he rises to the stage. He doesn't shy away from it. He gets his dunk.
I agree. I agree with you.
Like, you know, like think about like
he does it on the first try.
Yeah.
But this is the problem. For myself, I compare everything to 2000. Nothing has come to the point where it's kind of showed out. Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, Steve Francis. Those were the guys that was in that dunk contest in the year 2000 in Golden State. No one has done anything else to that level except for 2016 in Toronto. And it's crazy. A lot of the stuff they were talking about this All-Star weekend, I feel like they were trying to ignore the fact of the stuff that actually happened in Toronto. Maybe it's just me. I feel like they weren't really giving the love that Toronto actually brought. The All-Star game that was shown that year, 2016. I don't think
the weekend, the Saturday, because the Sunday was trash. The game was trash.
100%, right. You know what I'm saying? But they weren't really talking about it. And I'm like, man, you're talking about every other All-Star weekend but the one in Toronto, which is kind of weird to me. But I don't think
it was a great weekend overall too. If you guys remember,
right?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm being biased, but I think the last time that I watched a dunk off or an All-Star weekend where I actually got excited to the point where I'm coming off the couch like, yo, this is wild. I can't think of any other time other than that Toronto weekend, aside from 2000.
Well, you're always going to get that American bias. That will always be there. It will always be there. They're not going to, I don't know. For them, remember, it was one of the coldest. It was ironic. It was one of the coldest days of the year. We haven't seen temperatures like that for who knows? I think that's ever.
I was about to say that was one of the coldest weekends I've ever seen in this city.
The only time I've actually gone out was during that time, and I remember vividly that we was outside standing to get ready to go inside. I'm like, man, it's actually colder than the Yukon right now. What is going on out here? It is cold.
That was crazy. That made no sense. And if you guys remember the Monday, it was like 5 degrees. It was like warm.
I was like,
on the Monday when everybody's leaving. I'm like, wow, really?
All the Americans in the city. It was for all those Americans that came to the city. We're gonna give you a cold welcome.
It's funny though. I got a story for you. So Anthony Anderson came through the airport, and he had this thick jacket on, and I asked him too. I was like, man, what you doing with that thick old jacket on? And he's like, man, what you talking about? Man, I didn't watch the weather. It's supposed to be cold out here. I'm like, it ain't that cold out here. Man, I don't know how I missed that. Are you telling me that the U.S. Weather Channel was giving out better predictions of the weather than the Canadian Weather Channel was? Yeah, because he was well prepared. I know I wasn't.
Yeah, I went to one event, and all I remember was like, usually after the party, you're hanging out. You're gonna go and just chill out for a bit. You know what I mean? Like everybody's outside the club, and you're just talking, catching up with people, especially at the stage. Like, I remember as soon as you got out, it was like a beeline right to the car. Like that was the one part of that weekend where it's like we missed out on that, just the hanging out part aspect of it after like some of these parties and stuff. Nobody did that because it was too cold. You're going from the club to your car.
it maybe you might go to like a Big Slice or some restaurant, and then that was it. Then you were just gone. Like nobody even. I don't even know if you really did that. It was too cold.
Yeah, it was too cold.
It was too cold, but not. But with this weekend, there's two things I learned which kind of shocked me. Shout out to my nephew who dropped this one for me yesterday. Apparently, there was a stat that there was in terms of the All-Star game, in terms of the Sunday, there was 30, I think about a half hour total, 30 to 35 minutes total of actual gameplay, and over 2.5 hours of commercial breaks and talking head speak.
So the money's talking.
Yeah, there was way more talking and performances between the performances, the commercial breaks, like the banter between the talking heads. It equated to like 2.5 hours. It was actually just like an actual half hour of actual playing basketball, which I'm sorry, that is not good for the product. If you're trying to pitch, you know what I mean, the All-Star game. The thing that's sad though is like, and you're right, they're promoting it to be beyond us at this point. I take it a little personal because I grew up watching the All-Star weekend. I mean, we all did. I think to a certain extent if you're a ball fan. And like I remember those All-Star games from Isaiah Thomas and Magic Johnson when they were leading the show. You know, that's how far I go back with at least me. But where it's disappointing to me is like the weekend has been so devalued. There was a name that somebody used to call it. They used to call it the Black Super Bowl. Black Super Bowl weekend was the NBA All-Star weekend. You know what I mean? Because all the stars would come out. It was like the players would play hard, the parties are rocking, everything was a go. You know what I mean? Like that was the weekend you really wanted to get it in. But like now it just seems like it's kind of just passe. The players don't really care about it. I don't know if you guys saw that clip of Damian Lillard yawning on the bench. And I mean, it could just be a yawn from whatever. But the fact that he was yawning on the bench for the 3-point shootout where he's trying to get a three-peat in it, and it's not his fault because whatever, it's a yawn. But like you're just like the way they caught it, you're just like, man, I wouldn't even have showed that. You know, like why would you even show that? You're trying to promote this game. Don't even show that.
Kevin Hart's been getting destroyed, getting a lot of backlash too because they're saying he wasn't hitting. He
wasn't needed.
Yeah,
he wasn't needed.
It looked like SGA was getting annoyed of him.
You know what's hilarious? It felt like they literally called them up on Sunday. Like, yo, you in town, right? Or you in LA? Yo, can you catch a quick flight? It's like he was not needed. The jokes wasn't needed. And I don't mind Kevin Hart, but it's like none of it was needed. Yeah, like it's like it was kind of like a rush job, which is like it's disappointing for such a big product. Like I know everybody keeps talking about how like they should just cancel the All-Star game and all of that stuff, right? Which they're not wrong for having that opinion or that assessment, but you can't cancel it and replace it with nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's such a big product for the league. Like outside of like I think not even, it's probably bigger than the finals. It's like the biggest money-making event for the NBA. Like you can't just cancel that and just replace it with we're just gonna rest. That's crazy. Because the in-season tournament's not doing it. Like the second point I was gonna make too is what is even crazier. I don't know if you guys caught this. There was, I wouldn't say a lot, but you saw some empty seats. Like when they panned to the crowd, you were seeing like pockets of like 4 or 5 seats like empty. I'm like, yo, what the hell's going on? And maybe it was like that last year or a couple of years ago because I literally boycotted the All-Star game, especially last year. But I was stunned at looking at pockets and sections of crowds where it's like there was just, maybe 3, 4 seats and 4, 5, 6, 7 seats and just people weren't in them. And I'm just like, whoa. Like, what is going on here?
It doesn't help that LeBron 2 hours before the game said he's not going to play, right? So it's a lot. There's a lot of things that. Oh, I see this guy. This guy's. Hey man, you okay there, Batch? You okay? You getting a little antsy there, man? It's this guy. He's getting ready. He's getting ready, huh?
No, I'm good.
Okay. I'm scratching my head too.
Okay. But yeah, when he canceled, I was like, okay. I was like, okay, well, we'll see what happens here. Right?
Explain yourself, Jen.
No, I was just like, what's going on here? Dude, what's going on? 2 hours before the game, you're not gonna play? What's going on, man?
Yeah.
So
and somebody could have got invited. That's whack.
Huh?
That's whack. Somebody could have
totally.
Somebody could have came and filled that spot in. That's whack.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Agreed. That's not a good look. And so it looked like he made it about him as a statement that he wasn't. Maybe is that a statement to say you're not happy with what's going on and you're just like, I'm going to punish everyone. We also get that you are who you are, but at the same time, people also want to see you, right? So it didn't look good. No. It wasn't a good look.
Terrible look. I think for somebody who's not just the elder statesman, but still like the face and one of the ambassadors at this stage of his career of the league, it's crazy to me to watch like all these shows talking about how bad of a look this was, and it's like that conversation shouldn't even be happening. You know what I mean? Like if you're not gonna come, just don't come. Because and if it's true that they allegedly showed up about 4 or 5 hours like to actual San Francisco, you know what I mean? Like I think he wasn't even there at all, like for the whole weekend until about 4 or 5 hours before the game. If that's true, and if that's the case,
oh wow,
like you can't be the like that's not a good look. The ambassador cannot have that on their feet. And to me, it's like, because to me, for you guys, let me ask you quick, because I have my theory. But when did the All-Star game? We've been talking about this, been going down. To you, when do you remember it going down?
I just remember it just like the fourth quarter wasn't like before. It was always a show, but the second half, fourth quarter was more. It got real down the gritty, right? And it got competitive, and these guys are going for it, and it went away from it. It just gone away from that competitiveness. I remember Kobe blocking LeBron from behind and flushing on him, right? Just that was a statement. That was a statement. Yeah, you think you're coming? I'm still here. You know what I'm saying? So little things like that. Guys were going at each other. They took it as an opportunity to go at people, to dunk on people, to make an example of their opponent or someone they didn't like. But they had it. I think it's too friendly. I don't know, man. I think they got put money on the board to get these guys more interested, to get them to do more. Something has to change. There has to be more changes, but they got to keep it. See, they're doing too much. It's not something gradual. I think they should do the tournament stuff. I don't know. Do the tournament, but cut it down. The rookie team cannot be on that day, right? You know
Draymond,
what I mean?
But Draymond made a good point, though. Actually, he mentioned that in All-Star game, you're trying to win that award, that Kobe Bryant MVP award, right? Mm-hmm. So, say you go ahead and you get put in for that 14 tournament style thing. So you play that first game, you lose. What happens? As opposed to you playing a whole game and you get minutes and you're like, yo, nah, I'm about to get buckets. Like a Wemby. Wemby doesn't get out of. They made it out of the first round, but say they lost. Wemby was playing 100%. He was like, listen, I'm going hard. It looked like he was trying to get it, but then you end up losing in the second round where you're like, man, I got no rhythm. I done sat because you got all these sponsors trying to make their money because they paid. So now they take up all the time, and I'm over here getting cold. I mean, I might as well just kept myself at the house.
Do you think they should have had like 4 games instead of 3? So the teams that lost should have at least played like for third place or something, even if it was a shorter game, something, right?
At least.
Yeah, but who? See, it's such a long, like, I don't know. It's gonna have people sitting in the seats. It's a lot of games, but they got started earlier then because it's so late at night. It's like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Then it was at 10 o'clock, I believe. Right?
Yeah. That thing ended like 11 o'clock. I was like, man, I got to work tomorrow.
Right. So, like, I think they should just make it a USA against the world, and
I don't think America is there for that.
Yeah, America
doesn't want that. I think America knows the best players. They're creeping, and they're there. They're outside of those lines.
Or they make it North America against, or they make it. I don't know.
The reason why I say I don't know if you can make.
I don't know.
Like for the world, like okay, for example, Barkley's team had pretty much all the international players, right, on the team, save for I think Trae Young or one of those guys that was on the team. I think he replaced Giannis, right? But with that said, like, do you have enough, like a 12-man roster for All-Stars? Like, if that's how we're doing it, there's going to be some guys from the international teams that might be in the All-Star game that maybe shouldn't be there. You know what I mean? Do you have enough for 12? I know there's enough international players. Don't get me wrong, there's enough. But I'm just saying, is there enough All-Stars for that? You know what I mean? Like those, you got 7, you got at least 8 guys. You know what I mean? You throw in who? Sabonis. Who else am I missing after that?
You talking about the ones that weren't there?
That say if you're doing a U.S. versus the world, those top 7 guys, international guys that Barkley them had, or eight including Giannis, right?
But you got to remember though, Sabonis, he's American. You're talking about his background because he was born in Portland.
That's true too. Yeah, you're right.
So that kind of makes it kind of difficult.
Yeah.
Even though I hear what you're saying, but at the end of the day, they're gonna be like, no. He's an American. He's on the U.S. team. Nice try. You know what I'm
saying? Kyrie Irving trying to play for Team Australia. He's waiting on the answer.
I think
he's probably gonna get it.
I thought they gave him a thumbs up.
He's probably gonna get
it. They're waiting. They're waiting for it.
Oh, I thought they gave him a thumbs up. I thought they said, yeah, he can.
Oh. I'm okay with it though. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I wish Embiid did that.
Leave that guy alone. Let's not even bring this guy up.
Nah, I wish he did that last year. Like, I wish he played for France. You know what I mean? Or you know, I know Cameroon that they didn't really have a team, but like, I wish he played for France. Like, you didn't have to play for Team US, USA. You know what I'm saying?
You want to know why he didn't go to France though, right? He's not outshining Wemby right now. No one is outshining Wemby right now. And I think Embiid's ego is way too high for him to go ahead and get on that team. Way too high.
Yeah. And he will have to bend the knee to them, and he won't do that. He thinks he's bigger than them. So that was his going to the US was like, yeah, you guys are small fries to me.
But it's interesting just to go back on what I was saying before, like where the All-Star game to me went down, because to me, when you look at basketball historically, I mean, we never really had a problem with competition back in the days, you know what I mean? But like, it basically followed the attitude of, as far as I remember, it always followed the attitude of its greatest players. Whoever the leaders were during that period, it followed the momentum of those guys. When it was up and down, that was Magic in the West and Isaiah in the East. That was dictating tempo, and in the fourth quarter, everybody got down. You know what I mean? So a lot of those All-Star games were really competitive, especially if it was close. Then when they faded, then Jordan took that over. You're not going to slouch when Jordan's playing. You know what I mean? And then it became to a point where it was like that got passed down to Kobe. When Kobe was the best player eventually, or he was the guy for face of the league for a certain period of time, or at least the players definitely had him at the top hierarchy. You were not slouching when Kobe played. Like, Kobe was gonna make sure he busted your ass and let you know about it. You know what I mean? Like, picking up, like, look up. Remember, like, to your point, Johnny, he's picking up LeBron one-on-one in certain points and stuff. And you know what I mean? Like, calling for those moments. Like, that's what you needed. To me, it went down after he tore his Achilles. Like, after he tore his Achilles, I think 2014, it was still somewhat competitive. And then in 2015, it just became, you're like, yo, why is this squad like NBA Jam? What the hell's going on? Sure. And then after that, it's just been, you've had basically 2 good All-Star games since. I think one in 2018 when they changed the format, and then the one in 2020 right after Kobe died. And then they had the Elam ending and all that stuff, and it was really competitive at the end. Those are the only 2. After that, it's been a shit show ever since.
Because there was a purpose. That's why people were trying to get that MVP trophy, the first ever Kobe Bryant MVP trophy, right? So there was a purpose for that game. So it turned into, I want that. I want that. Especially with some of these young bucks that looked up to Kobe Bryant, where they're like, you know what, man? I looked up to him. I idolized him. He's my guy. I got to get this award. I got to get that MVP trophy, right? So you saw a lot more players were like, man, forget what the narrative is. I don't care about this, yo. I'm just gonna mess around, go through the motions. And then fourth quarter, maybe I'll pick it up. It was like, nah, I'm getting this from the moment this ball goes up. It's mine.
And let me ask you guys a question too, because we're talking about obviously LeBron skipping out of the game or whatever, right? Like we all don't like how he did that. Imagine this is being my tinfoil fitted right now, right? Do you think that was a clutch protest?
For what?
Because Anthony Edwards didn't play in that game either.
Is Edwards clutch too?
He's clutch.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that until this morning. Like honestly, it's one of those things. And what's worse, the fact that he didn't play the game, or that basically most of the people didn't even notice he didn't play in that game until like after it was over. I don't know which one's worse, but the fact that the two clutch.
Why did he not play?
They said I had to look it up. They said it was apparently his groin or something like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, this pod will be out after they play each other on because Minnesota's playing the Lakers on Wednesday. That's the first official game after the All-Star break.
Wait, no, that's Charlotte.
Hornets.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Charlotte and the Lakers. But I'm like, it's not a good look if LeBron is playing in that game with his regular minutes, and he's not going to be playing.
No, he's out 1 to 2 games apparently.
Okay, so then that's fair enough. But I'm like, it just seems a little weird. You know what I mean? It's a weird coincidence of the two clutch clients that was in that game didn't play in it. So I'm like, was that a silent protest? Like, you know what I mean? It was just, take off the tinfoil fitted, but you know what I mean? But like, I just thought that was like, wow, it's a weird coincidence.
I don't know.
Wait to see that one. I don't know. I don't know.
Because he was complaining about. Well, I shouldn't say. You can call it complaining, but he mentioned from the beginning he wasn't for this whole new format.
Yeah.
And then it got to a point where he stopped talking about it. He stopped speaking on it. And I'm pretty sure someone from the league office probably said, "Hey, listen, your voice is too powerful. You can't be running around here saying that you're not feeling this new format because we need you to co-sign onto it." And even listening to some of the players, like even Dame Lillard. Lillard spoke on it and said, "Yo, I like the new format. I think it's made us play a little bit harder and this and this." And I'm like, this is kind of made up. I'm not truly believing what you're saying right now, especially coming from Dame, because Dame he's a different kind of player, and for him to say, "Yeah, I like the format," I'm like, I don't know.
Something's off.
Yeah, something don't seem right about that.
It doesn't help when Draymond's ripping everything, right? So,
right.
He's on the mic, he's on a platform, and he's like letting it loose on primetime television, right? So that doesn't help. And then it's like it's weird because then you have the old heads ripping Draymond. It's like a weird, interesting sphere of opinions. I don't think we're all going to get what we want out of this. I think we should just dumb it down our expectations and keep it simple. At the same time, it's a break from the season, but at the same time, it's a chance to recognize some of the special talents that are there that don't get the shine because of their markets or their circumstance. So I just think, once again, they went too far this year. Too many changes.
Yeah.
Too many changes. It was just too much. Taper it down. Sometimes it's just a couple tweaks here and there and just cut it. It's just too much talking. Like, it's just like this talking head stuff. Too many opinions of people that are not really playing the game, or I don't know, just too much talking in between. So you want more live action, and it's just like, it seems like it's more talking and the stats and all this, and rather than people seeing what they could do.
Over and under. If there was an over and under on Vince Carter acknowledgments for the 2000 dunk contest during this weekend, did we go over?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. But it's just because people want it so bad. They want that feeling. That was like, no one. First of all, they knew it was a special moment, but they still didn't know what they're going to see. They're still talking about it. You know, remember Kenny Smith was like talking, yeah, because of you, I was on the mic. He was boosting himself because of you made me a part of history, right? It's like, wow. So it's so nostalgic, but it was a great time. Like, let's face it, Vince Carter did something that was just like, wow, you know, put the world on fire. Everyone was I will never forget that. Like, I remember the one dunk was the two dunks, the 360 windmill reverse.
Yeah.
Reverse.
I still think that's the greatest.
And I was just like, and everyone's talking about this dunk and
the
other
between the legs.
That one.
That's,
you know,
to this day, I think that's one of the greatest dunks. That's top
full
2
extension.
or 3 ever. Full extension.
Hey, I've done windmills.
They were all clean. All those dunks were clean.
Yeah. Sorry?
All those dunks were clean. They were all flushes.
Yeah.
But he was
violent power.
He was what was he? 6'7", almost 6'8", 6'6"?
No,
6'6",
about 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah. Okay.
I don't even know if he was
long arms, big hands, super athlete, right?
Yeah.
So he had the charisma, right? He had the like it put Toronto on the map. It did so much for the NBA. It did so much for the All-Star Weekend. It did so much for Vince Carter. It was a win-win across the board. We're trying to hold on to that. We've had some success over the years. We just gotta keep it simple.
Like I felt it was forced. I felt like to say that it was over, like it was forced. And I'm not taking away from what happened 25 years ago, because we all remember where we was. That was an astonishing moment that we've seen. Like, to your point, like the hype leading up to that, when he was about to do that contest, we as Raptors fans knew what he was going to do something crazy, but we didn't know what. And then that first dunk he did was just like it was mind bending. So I like all the props in the world to him for that, because that was literally amazing. I still remember going to the club that night afterwards and feeling like we were like walking around with our chest out. We were so proud. You know what I mean?
You said the club. Damn.
Oh man, we went to the club right after, man. Like, man, we was out with our chest out.
I was way too young, man. I was still in high school this time. Jeez. You said the club. Man.
Hey, the Grays are in here for a reason, man. But I'm like, but at the same time, it was like it just felt forced. I'm like, yeah, I know this is 25 years back in the Bay. Like, it's first of all, you're not even at back at Oracle. You're at the Chase Center now, so it's not even the same place. You know what I mean? Like when he came on, he did the introduction. I was kind of like, why are we doing this? Like, what's why? Like, all respect to him though for historical purposes. All respect to him, but I just thought it was really forced.
I just think I don't know. I don't know. Maybe like, what do you think? Bringing past dunk champions?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like bringing back Michael, Dominique.
No, it's all about.
No. I'm not saying not the dunk in. No. In the wheelchairs? No. I'm just saying. To bring them back to be a part of it into some capacity, in a sense of passing the torch to the new generation. Like, they have Dr. J being there, but he was a hard judge. They've had different people judge. You have different people take part or be a part of it, but it's just like, remember, like, I don't know. It's just I don't see an easy solution, because everyone wants what they want. Everyone's holding on to the nostalgic past. I just don't think we're ever going to catch it. We might be surprised here and there if someone. There's going to be a good dunk off coming if they keep doing it. They got to get it right one of these days, one of these years, I should say. But I just want, I don't know.
I think their marketing scheme is all wrong. I think they're too focused on the money. I think they need to go back the same way. They got to set it up the right way. Like, I remember, watching those on NBC games, that beginning intro, that setup just before the game even starts, where they go ahead, show the highlights, and you got Bob Costas speaking on whatever.
Monologue, yeah.
But then you know what I'm saying with the teams saying, oh, what this and that, and you're like, oh man, this game's about to be crazy.
Okay, so give a little back, yeah.
Yeah, we don't have that no more. It's just game 1's tomorrow.
But that's journalism. That's Bob Costas was a big entity. He called the shots to do. He could call that to do that. I guess our modern day Bob Costas is Stephen A. Smith or no, I know he ain't eloquent enough. No, he yelling too much.
I think I start twitching when I start hearing him speak now, man. Like that guy annoys me. He annoys me. That's too much.
He's getting too big. He's getting out of control now. It's like it's interesting. It's like his opinion is so important now. Well, ESPN's gonna give him some money, so it's just interesting. It's just more people's opinions. I don't know.
If it went back to just being basketball, as opposed to them trying to create this drama, I think we would get back into having a competitive sport to where now people actually want to watch and will actually indulge in it to where like, man, I think the super fans, the real super fans will come back and you'll see it. It'll be an attack. It wouldn't be all this, Draymond's acting a fool. He just tried to punch somebody's lights out. Is he going to get suspended? I don't know. Stay tuned. As opposed to, listen, like I think the only thing that's probably holding the league right now is probably the Western Conference. It's so stacked. You have no idea who's going to come out of there. That's what I think for me, that's what keeps me more in tune. I'm not worried about the East. You only got a select few teams that's coming out of the East. Out of the West, it's like, man, anybody can get out of there. I want to see Houston get out of there. I kind of want to see Dallas get out of there because all those fans over there are getting mad at the fact that they traded Luka and got AD. Now, mind you, with AD going down, damn, that does not make them look good at all. And then you got more of them getting injured. And all these fans that think they know basketball probably over there talking about, look, you traded the wrong person. It wouldn't have made no difference anyways. Because now you still needed Luka to get in shape. And Luka alone wouldn't have did the trick. Because now you just lost your whole front court anyways. You don't really stand a chance in the Western Conference. But at the same time, man, I mean, you got the Lakers making their moves. I mean, it's a shame that the Mike Williams trade did not go through because I'm not going to lie, that was kind of scary. But they weren't going to win. It just was interesting to see. That's the only thing I got to say on that. But now you have Sacramento that adds on more firepower and no defense. Stuff don't make sense to me.
No.
Right?
So not to cut you, but okay, I'll ask both of you guys a question. Now that we're moving on from the All-Star stuff, now that we're like 2 weeks out of this trade now, this historic Luka AD trade, does it at this stage now that we've sat with it for a couple of weeks, does it make at least a little more sense? Because I'm still confused by it.
I think it's bigger than basketball.
It made sense after a while because you just had to sit there and say, why? Something happened. I don't know what. I don't have all the information, but the only thing I can come up with is the Lakers are trying to make moves because at some point LeBron is going to leave. And because LeBron had the Lakers get rid of all their assets, they had to make a serious trade. Yeah, you know that's right, though. You can't be – don't roll your eyes, man. You know good and well the Lakers have no assets, man. So the Lakers had to make a move in AD. I mean, mind you, AD's getting older as well, and they said, okay, fine, we'll trade AD for Luka. Now Luka has his problems from what's being reported. I don't know, but they're saying that he can't stay in shape. We've seen that. Luka doesn't play defense. You know what I'm saying? He got winded. In the NBA Finals, you can see that he was not able to keep up. He was getting tired. Now, I don't
asked him left and right. It was nuts.
Right. Like, I don't know what's going to happen with the Lakers now after this, like when LeBron makes his move into retirement. But at the same time, you probably will have more players that want to join Luka as opposed to joining LeBron because LeBron has his certain ways of playing. You got to be a certain kind of player to play with LeBron. Luka's a little bit different, but Luka also is really ball dominant. So who can really play with Luka? It's almost like you actually, in a sense, kind of talking about it, you kind of replace him with the same kind of player that you're about to lose within the next 2 years. So
sure.
So I guess the Lakers kind of have their blueprint of what they're looking for, but at the same time, you can't look past the money. You got to follow the money. Everybody's trying to make money, and once you lose one big megastar, you got to replace them with another one, and it won't be by way of draft. You got to find a way of attaining someone such as Luka, and that's why I feel that they're going. So I think they've already waved the right flag for this year. In my personal opinion, I don't think the Lakers have a genuine ambition to win the championship this year because it doesn't make sense. Now, mind you, again, with the trades that they made with Mike Williams, that was huge. They got rid of Don Connect. I think my biggest question is, how do you come back to the team after they try to trade you and come back with the same kind of passion that you had when they first drafted you? Especially knowing that you try to trade me, not Bronny. I'm better than him. Why are you not trading that bum?
What's your thoughts, Nation?
I'm just waiting. Are you finished, sir?
Yeah, I'm done. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Okay. Okay. I think. Okay. Going back to the trade. I think it's bigger than basketball. I think they clearly didn't want to give Luka that ultra max. I think the owners, they got denied building a casino in Dallas, and so they want to build a new arena, and they want to build a casino with that arena. So the powers that be denied them. So I think there's a power move because it doesn't make sense.
So you do think there's some truth to that rumor?
Yeah, I do think that. I think there's something missing that we're not getting that we're gonna find out whenever.
Because that actually makes more sense in the trade.
Okay,
not
so
to
when
say,
the trade
not
happened,
to say it's true or not, but I'm like, it actually makes more sense in the trade.
When the trade happened, I was on the phone talking to my girlfriend, and she was talking to me, and I was just like, "What? No way, AD? No way! Lakers would never do that." And then I realized it's for Luka. Of course, you have to. Now, the fact that AD got hurt, like it was funny. You got the full AD experience in that one Dallas game that he played. You can't write it. You can't write it better than that. Because like, yo,
crazy.
He came out. I'm here, killed. He played 2.5 quarters and scored. He had a full game, 26 points, 7 rebounds. Like I was like, wow.
No, then he got 16 hurt. Rebounds.
16. My bad. Sorry, that was a 6. He came back too soon. He was already injured. Dallas is not thinking straight. They just put him out there. He should have been on a minutes restriction. They should have been monitoring him properly. So that's a disaster on top of a disaster, right? Knowing his history, you're not paying attention. So now the trade looks even worse because now you know that you may have gotten a lemon because you know his history. You know what he's going to do. You're going to get the good, the bad, and the ugly with AD. Now, it's what hurts them even more is the fact that the other two bigs are hurt. That just kills the whole reason why you got AD, because you want AD to play the fours so he could dominate all the fours. And he's got the guard skills of playing the perimeter to let Gafford and the other big man, Lively do his thing. But he's coming back from a sprained ankle, so he should be back. He's getting monitored, I believe, this week. So Kyrie Irving, I don't think is enough by himself, especially with a bulging disc in your back. That's going to be interesting. So I don't know what's going to happen. What Dallas is, they've won the last few games before the break, which is kudos to their determination and level of focus of what they had left from the players they had. I don't know what aspirations they're going to have going forward if AD is wavering. The Lakers side, I think they're just going to run with it. I think I agree with Batch in the sense of the championship aspirations have taken a step back because you don't have you're in the loaded West. You're in a good position seed wise right now in the sense of being 5th. And I'm looking at Batch right now. Yeah, they're 5th, buddy. You said they weren't going to make the top. Remember you said to me? You said they weren't going to make the top. They're going to be a play-in team.
Yeah, and we still got like what, 4 more weeks left?
Okay.
No, we got like 2 months
now.
left.
Got 2 months left?
Got 2 months left. That's what we got 2 months left.
Okay, I just say they're gonna what they're gonna do is gonna be an ultra powered small ball unit. I think that's what I think JJ Redick is gonna do that, and eventually start Vando or one of those guards and have or I don't know. When they played, they signed Alex Len, and I was like, what? sorry guys. I don't know if that's the piece because
he's solid.
Oh, we know that's not the piece.
Oh no, but he's
not
solid.
the piece. We know.
But he's solid though.
Not right now.
They did that because the trade fell through, right?
Yeah, listen. Okay, Batch, tell me if you agree or disagree. It's one thing to play in LA. It's another thing to catch passes from LeBron. And if you're not confident within self, look at Beasley. He couldn't hit the side of a barn. My man's leading the NBA in 3-pointers this year in Detroit. Kudos to him for resurrecting your career because, boy, oh boy, my guy was falling off the wayside. But the point of the matter is, you know what I'm saying? So Alex Len, I don't know. The Jackson Hayes kid, he's a great lob threat, but he's a backup. He's not he doesn't have the basketball IQ to be a starter. He's gonna get himself in foul trouble. And so I don't know about that. So they're light in the ass in the big man department, and they're gonna get abused. They got no one to call. If they get matched up with Jokic, they're screwed. If they get matched up with Minnesota, right? Who else has massive bigs? I'm not gonna say OKC because Chet and Harkenstein are slender bigs,
but they're better than LA's
yes,
bigs.
They're skilled bigs. They're still skilled bigs.
Yeah,
right. So you have to give them. They're a threat. So that's my only thing. I think they're gonna go ultra small ball unit with Rui, LeBron, Vando. What I liked thus far, I like the three of LeBron, Luka, and Reeves. I like that tandem because they all could play make, they all could shoot, but they can't play defense to save a lick. So offensively, they're going to be fine. I think defensively, it's going to be interesting. So that's where I think JJ Redick is going to implement the likes of Finney Smith and Vando.
Who do you get the ball?
Rui can't cover nobody on the perimeter. I watch that guy. He's not the smartest knife in the drawer. Sorry?
Who do you give the ball to at the end of the game with that three that you just mentioned?
Well, you give the ball to whoever's open.
Yeah, come on, man. You know you want to say it. You know you.
I think LeBron is probably going to take a seat back because he has a chance to. I think if things go well, he doesn't retire for another 2 or 3 years. He just rides this man's coat's tail until he gets to the final. He can just ride this young man until he gets to the finals. Play off the ball and do what he does, right?
But he doesn't know how to do that.
Sorry?
He doesn't know how to play out the ball.
He has been more so than ever in his career.
With who?
This year. With
who?
D'Lo, before when D'Lo was there, and Reeves.
Oh, no. No, not a chance, man. LeBron James is not playing off the ball. His usage rate is still in the mid-30s.
But it's still the lowest of what it was before. He's still listen, Reeves has been balling quietly of late, consistently. Been putting in work, playmaking, scoring. I've been watching a lot of LeBron running to the side, letting Reeves go to work. I'm telling you, I watched the 2 games with Luka.
He said 2. He said 2.
Hey, Bat, you're pissing me off. No, unreal. Only sample size, but just to see, they have a good cohesion. I like what I saw. I just it's exciting. It's just a little excitement to see what they had before, from what they had before to now. The last thing I'll say is LA knew that AD was not going to be their future. And they knew for a long time. They just didn't know how to go about it. And when this came up, they didn't hesitate to pull the trigger. So when AD was piping up about getting a big man, it's just funny that this trade happened a week later, you know? And I was just to him, I would If I was in his shoes right now, I would have the biggest chip on my shoulder to prove everyone wrong and to win another trip without LeBron. Only thing with him now is he can't hide now. He can't hide behind LeBron. He has to be that guy, and we're gonna find out.
The one thing I will say though is Luka is a guy that, whether he's in shape or not, I mean, we've seen him straight up carry teams. Offensive.
5 all team. His first 5 years, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Come on now. And
for
he's
sure.
out of shape.
For sure. But
right?
you know, it's funny because when that the chairman of the Mavericks came out and had that presser. Excuse me, I don't know if you guys saw that, but it was kind of disastrous because the guy was basically saying like, I'm like, yo, you just came into money yesterday. How are you determining the culture of the team? Talking about Kobe and Jordan and these guys, like.
But that's what I'm saying. The business side is taking over, right? It's all about a business. They don't.
Yeah, it wasn't about. I don't. Yeah, it was. It that's what I'm like. That rumor of the team kind of holding the city hostage for not giving it the casino and stuff. I'm like I said, I'm not even saying I totally believe it, but I'm like, it actually makes more sense than the actual trade, because you don't make that trade if you're just a basketball mind. You don't make that trade. You don't trade, and as great as AD is, you don't trade a 25-year-old. Even though I think if that team is healthy, will be dangerous defensively, but you don't make that trade. Balling, it doesn't make any sense.
Max Christie is balling.
He's balling, and yeah, for sure.
Up until that point before the trade, because he's starting to get his own. Now he doesn't have to worry about LeBron yelling at him, all those guys yelling and bullying him. He can just play free, and you can see he's going to be he's the shining star of that trade, not AD. He's the shining star of that trade.
Steal.
Because he's going to play every night on both ends of the floor.
That's what I shared with the trade. I said, listen, the biggest part of that whole trade with AD was Max Christie, man. A lot of people sleeping on that kid, man. That guy's nice.
Good.
He's nice.
He's good.
He's coming into his own. You can see the seasoning. This year he got the time, because when he started with the Lakers, they went off. Because playing him beside Reeves complemented Reeves perfectly, because he could play all the top defensive guards, whether 1, 2, or 3. And he's a big body, still growing to his body. He still hasn't even touched his prime yet.
Yeah,
and he's got that natural ability, right?
He can play. He could definitely play. Like I said, man. To me, excuse me. To me, you look at the Lakers. They actually have the in terms of strength of schedule, they actually have the 11th easiest schedule in the league, like for the rest of the playoffs.
The Lakers
I actually looked it up. Yeah, the strength of schedule is actually kind of surprising. I was expecting it to be the worst. I'm like, they're 11. They got the 11th easiest schedule going forward. But again, who's the defenders on that team that makes the difference? I like Durham, Finney-Smith,
Vando,
yeah, Vanderbilt's solid. Those two guys are solid.
And the next person, LeBron for Batch. That's for Batch.
No,
LeBron,
just don't do that.
Don't
do that.
I'm joking.
Oh, jeez. Oh, man. I was about to get ready to throw this wine glass across the room.
So the Lakers are currently 5th in the tables, guys. Just want to make sure that in the fixtures, as they say. So, yeah, they're 5th. Half a game behind Houston. Like you said, Houston. You said something about Houston going in. I think they're a great success this year, but I think because they don't have no seasoning in the playoffs of experience, I think the coach, that's where they're gonna lean on him to kind of put them over the top and experience in a sense of, but like doing it and being there. You know what I mean? I think.
You don't believe in Jeff Green and Van Fleet to help out the young ones on that team?
No. Van Vliet, hell no. No. I should take that back. I'm very impressed with what Van Vliet done since leaving Toronto, because he's been more consistent in Houston, putting up good numbers, because his wheels was terrible in Toronto. For some reason, he couldn't stay on the court. He had lower leg problems all throughout his tenure.
Well, he was under a Nick Nurse system where he was running high minutes. So
fair enough. Okay, yeah. But he was injury. He was a lot of injuries. He wasn't performing. He was up and down. He's been more consistent at Houston, and you could see, because like he was going off at Toronto. Don't get me wrong, but you could tell he was limited because of the injuries. So you could tell he doesn't seem to have those type of limitations anymore, and he's just playing free. Obviously, Ide is a hell of a coach. It's just like you can tell no matter where he is, he's gonna make a competitive team, and he's gonna get everyone to buy into whatever he says. Leader of men, leader of young men.
Yeah, Ime's doing a good job. Like it's like he should probably be coach of the year this year. He's doing an amazing job because his team's ahead of schedule. You know, this team should have been like at least a year away. Like you're more expecting this next year.
Kid, I saw the Shangoon guy come down. He did it in and out with his left hand, cross between his legs, body the guy, and did a hook.
But he's been nice from day one. But he's been nice.
I know, but they didn't let him dribble as much as he's dribbling now. They gave him the ball at the top of the key, and he did in and out crossover. And you're not biting? Between the legs. Oh, you're not going for that? Let me body you out of the way. And then did a little nice hook with the offhand. I was like, this guy is going to be a problem because he's doing this effortlessly. He's not even thinking. He's just doing it. It's just instinctive, right?
They still got Jabari too, man. He's injured, man. So when he comes back, oh man.
Yeah, but see, the know-how. Okay, you're right. They got the horses, but when you don't have the know-how, the experience, the understanding of the moment, you take it for granted, and that's where that's where you need a veteran. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that team needs a couple of veterans in there to hold everyone, to understand the level of focus, to understand the moments. You know what I'm saying?
That comes next year, man. Like Amin Thompson, man. Like, man,
his brother. You see his brother, the donkey. His brother got the two of them.
The two of them are nuts.
A man's more skilled offensively.
Yeah.
But man, the two of them, like, who's their family, man? They're just raw specimens.
The two of them are tough, but
he did a drop step from the. Sorry, I'm gonna calm down. Sorry, I apologize. He did a drop step. He just caught the ball from the foul line and did a 2-foot, and he was still ascending into the air, and then flushed it in the Stars game. I was like, whoa.
Those two are bouncy too, though.
But like they play hard. They play hard on both ends of the floor. That's why they're a throwback in today's game.
But Amin is like, I think honestly, and I know Jalen Green is a tough. He's a tough player. It's hard to say this, but I'm like, but I think he might be the second best player, by next season. If he's not already, that kid is talented, man. Thompson, I said I think Thompson could be the second best player on that team after Shangoon.
Oh, but
ahead of Jalen.
I already think he is number 2.
I think so too. Yeah,
Jalen Green's just raw. He just has to understand that to reel it in a little bit, but he's just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. They're all so young too, right? Like. But the way like that game that he had against Boston, Thompson,
the game winner,
when they played at Boston, but that whole game, if you watch that whole game, man, he was impressive. Like he was impressive. Like he did a little bit of everything.
That was a big win,
huge
for them, confidence wise, on the road in Boston. But for Ime,
he wanted that one. Yeah, he definitely wanted that one. In Boston, for sure.
All right. So, kudos to him.
They've been losing a little bit. Yeah, they've been losing a little bit since going into the All-Star break. But it's fine.
They're a young team. Yeah, they're gonna hit the ground the second half. They need a break, right? Yeah. It's just the wear and tear, the emotional strain of being in the top 5.
Yeah,
they were second in the league at one point. You know what I'm saying? So, we'll see. Still a lot of, like you said, 2 months for my Lakers to ascend.
Oh my God!
Yeah, good luck to you, man. Good luck to you. You guys are losing the first round.
Hey, make sure you edit that out, okay? Yeah. Well, it's
if my internet ban is being put in here, this is staying in here. Just so you know that right
now. But yeah, man, I just think like there's so much ball to be played. Positioning, the West is so jumbled up. There's like 2 or 3 games separating 3 from 10. So there's so much ball to be played. A lot of positions that can be happening. I'm intrigued to see with all the different teams. I'm also intrigued to see what's going to happen in the East, to see like who takes those. You got Cleveland, Boston. Boston looks like they want to catch Cleveland for that number 1 spot. We'll see if they can do it. I want to see what New York is about. I want to see what they're about, if they're real. And then there's Milwaukee, and then there's Indiana.
Forget those teams. I'm more concerned about Atlanta. Those guys are looking real sneaky.
They're looking even post trade.
They're looking real, very sneaky.
Even post trade.
100%.
Because I think Cleveland picking up DeAndre Hunter to fill that small forward position, it was humongous. Mm-hmm. That was a great trade. I couldn't believe they pulled that off. I feel like Atlanta once Johnson went down, I feel like they just started like kind of slowly, like making some of these trades, which was kind of interesting because you're like, I coming into the season, that was like my secret dark horse. I like Atlanta.
I think they took advantage of that. I think with Johnson going down, unfortunately, I think they took advantage of that situation. That trade for LeVert, they just found their 6th man. He replaced Bogdanovich right there. So now you have Karis LeVert taking over the 6th man role, and you go with your starting 5 for Atlanta with Trey, Jalen Johnson.
Jalen Johnson's hurt for the year, right? He's done.
No, I'm talking about next year now. I'm not even talking about this year.
Okay, my bad.
Next year. Trey, Jalen Johnson, Rishache, Dyson Daniels, and then you got to figure out Okongwu or Capella.
Okongwu, yep. He's killing.
Yo, man, fuck you, Cal. I shouldn't even drop that guy. You picked him up. I'm so mad. Oh my gosh, I dropped that guy so early. Jesus, oh help me.
Who?
Okongwu. Yo, I've been holding that guy for the longest time, and I was like, yo,
he's going off this year. He's going off this year, though.
I know. I was like, man, Atlanta's not gonna figure it out. Forget it. I'll drop him. Man, dropped him. All of a sudden, this guy's going nutty on the court. I'm like, man, what the hell is this?
You know what's weird? He was doing it on the slide, on the lows last year and the years before, but it wasn't consistent. I don't know what the difference is. He's putting in work. I'm gonna say something to you, Batch. LeVert. Mm-hmm. Okay, he was a 6th man for Cleveland. Mm-hmm. They gave up on him and went in another direction. So you think it's going to work in Atlanta?
Yeah, because they got a different role for him. I think because with Cleveland, it wasn't just him as a 6th man, because then you had to slot him in with the first unit. I think they were stuck on who they needed in order to be the scorer, because you have Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen, but they have no other front court guys to take out for the second unit. So now you really have Evan Mobley still being that top guy, or Jared Allen that's playing in the second unit, to where you're like, listen, we can't even afford to even keep Karis LeVert because it's affecting him to be that go-to guy. And then Karis LeVert essentially plays the same position as Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, which now affects Ty Jerome. Ty Jerome he's a great player too. He's a good player, great player.
He's been solid.
You know what I'm saying?
He's solid. He's solid off the bench. He's solid.
So it now turned into, what do? Do you now keep Karis LeVert?
I just thought it was. Sorry,
No, go ahead. Like, do you now keep him to where it bleeds into Karis LeVert, or do you trade him and say, listen, we need a defender, and DeAndre Hunter is a well better defender than Karis LeVert. So I think at that point, Cleveland did an amazing job in picking him up, but Atlanta also won in that. It's tough for me to even say who actually won that trade. I mean, obviously you give it to Cleveland because they're at the top of the. They're
trying.
I just think it's such an interesting trade for Cleveland, because they were doing well, but they realized for them to be over the hump of firepower and defense, offensively and defense, Hunter gives them the best punch, because he matches up with Tatum and Brown. He can match up with them, right? So it'll be interesting to see if they do meet, but Cleveland needs that number 1 seed, or they have no chance of getting to the finals.
He said no chance. Oh man, let me sip on that. You said no chance.
Like, yeah.
He finished the glass too.
Yeah. I said a couple comments to make him take a couple sips earlier on. Don't worry, I got documented on my phone. But listen, I just don't know. I think Cleveland is like the little brother trying to beat the big brother of Boston, and like Boston knows they have their number. And so it showed in the last couple of meetings. You can just tell, like Boston, just like they have another gear that they can hit. I think Cleveland is questioning if they can hit that gear. And I think the second half of the season is going to show, but the playoffs is what we're going to really mark and evaluate what these guys are doing. They need that number one seed, the home court advantage to beat Boston. I really truly believe that. You think otherwise? Judging from that gulp.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think Boston, if anything, they're the ones that are chasing because it's not the same anymore, man. They got them figured out. The amount of scouting that you're doing on Boston, you got to figure those guys out. And at the end of the day, I mean, Tatum's going to be Tatum. Brown's going to be Brown. Porzingis going to be Porzingis. But there's one player that has kind of disappeared from that team that was very vital, and that's Drew Holiday.
Yes.
He hasn't been doing much lately, man.
I thought you were going to say White, because White's been consistent.
No, he's been consistent. He's always been consistent. Even from the San Antonio days. He's the same player from San Antonio. So
yeah.
But no disrespect to Drew Holiday.
When they got him, I was like, yo, I don't think they realize how good they're like how good of a player he is on both ends of the floor, making timely plays. He's like the ultimate. He's like an A1
Army knife, basically.
Role player, like the top of role players in the game today, because he hits big shots, he play makes as well, right? He has the ball in his hand
and defends and hits the threes.
Yes. I love watching them play because they play a methodical style of game where you have to think this game with us because we're gonna beat you. Right, we're gonna get the mismatch that we want. We got Tatum to do the ISO stuff, and we got Porzingis. If Porzingis is hitting shots, woof.
I'm not even worried about Boston. If I'm worried about any team, it's gonna be two teams, and that's gonna be Cleveland and actually New York, because anyhow New York figures out how to play together. Problem. You're telling me that New York's not a problem? You're telling me that New York's not a problem?
I don't know what to think about New York. I don't know if they're real. I don't know with them. I don't know. The
amount of defenders they have on that team.
I know what they have on the team. Anunoby's not. It depends if Anunoby's playing.
If he's healthy.
If Anunoby's not playing, they got no chance of competing.
Okay, I can agree with that, but at the same time,
I was gonna say Anunoby with Tibbs is like a college kid driving like a 2004 Civic. That's got his car for the first time.
Hold on,
you don't know how long that's gonna last.
It's gonna last a long time.
With Tibbs,
Honda Civic. Hey, hold on! Don't forget about the Honda Civic though. A long time.
I
said a 2004. I said a 2004 Honda Civic. I didn't say 2024.
Anything Honda related, you can trust it.
Hey, okay, listen. I was the guy that had to beat up Honda Civic back in college. That did not last me. So I'm speaking that from experience.
You probably even do oil changes.
Yeah, probably. You probably put diesel in the car. You probably put diesel in the gas. But okay, listen. I'll say this. I just don't think New York, they have to prove themselves to me. They could do it. I just don't think I'm not a believer in Tibbs. He's wearing them down. He doesn't have a bench. He doesn't go deep.
Whoa.
He doesn't go deep.
Whoa.
He doesn't go deep.
Whoa.
He's going 6 or 7 in the playoffs. That's usually his mantra.
That's it. He won't go 8-9. He will never go 8-9.
Hey, the crazy thing
won't go 8. He definitely don't go 8.
The crazy thing is though, we can't forget that they still have Mitchell Robinson though.
Yeah, but you don't know. You don't know.
You don't. But the thing is, you still have him though.
He's okay. So you're saying that New York can have championship aspirations with homeboy coming back to help out?
No, they already got it without him. He just adds to it.
Okay. I don't think he makes a difference. I think as a body, yes. I just think I watched him before he got injured. Was it last year? He didn't look good. Maybe because he was coming back and he wasn't in shape.
That's why.
Okay,
He was a little heavier.
Bad. It looked bad. He hurt them more than he helped them. So I hope he takes the necessary time to come back to hit the ground running so he can be impactful, but not just for now, but for the playoffs. It'll be interesting if he's healthy. Health is going to be a big factor for these guys, especially in the West, because it's going to slow down in half-court basketball.
You know what? Just gave me an idea. I love it. I'm going to make sure I find this guy, too. But I tell you, though, Mitchell Robinson.
I was going to say, what's the idea?
Nah, I ain't telling you guys because you guys are probably going to do it anyways. Fuck that. Nah. No, I'll keep that one on.
Oh, you talking fantasy. Yeah,
he's talking fantasy. Yeah,
okay. All right.
But I will say this, though. You mentioned that you don't think that New York has a bench. So when you go ahead and you get Mitchell Robinson back, you don't have to play him no crazy amount of minutes. You can play him maybe 15 to 20 minutes to back up Cat to get him a good breather. Or you can use Precious Achiuwa to back up Cat to get some good solid minutes. Or you can go ahead and even maneuver Precious Achiuwa at the power forward position. And you got Josh Hart. I think they have a decent bench, especially the way Tibbs runs his front line. If he's going to run them that deep, all right, let's cut off 5 to 7 minutes, especially coming to playoffs. Let's get these guys a good breather because we're going to go deep and we're going to have a deep run. So then now you got guards like McBride. You got Cameron Payne. I think their small forward is probably the most shakiest spot. But with someone like Josh Hart, his job is just to play defense, and he just racks up. He does all the small things. He's your Swiss Army knife, if anything. I think New York probably has the best position, actually, to probably dethrone Cleveland if they do get Mitchell Robinson and he remains healthy, because now you have somebody against Jared Allen.
Okay, I think that. I just think it's hard for them to make any ground without Anunoby because he just makes timely baskets for them, and he plays exceptional defense without fouling, right? On major bigs and threes and fours, right? I like Anunoby, man. I'm a big he's hit the ground running in New York for them. And it's just unfortunate that he just can't stay healthy. Man, if this boy could put together, keep himself healthy with that body of his, my goodness. Because, remember last year when he was hurt on one leg? He was impactful. Yeah. He was impactful on half a foot, guy. So just imagine him being somewhat healthy on knowing that he's there. I think he's a difference maker. I don't doubt they can make noise. It's all about the matchups. It's all about the matchups to me. That's my only rebuttal to you, Batch. I'll say this. I don't think they can beat Boston, New York, but they can beat Cleveland.
Why can't they beat Boston?
I just don't think they believe they could beat. They don't have the firepower, and they're not deep enough to beat Boston. Boston is they just don't have it. A Cat has to be on. He has to be able to score and defend. He has to be locked in. And remember last year, he had a good game and a bad game, and he's still doing these ticky-tack fouls that we were doing at ice.
But you're talking about him when he was in Minnesota, though. This is not the same Cat we're talking about right now, man. He's different now. He's different now. He's different now, man. This is a different player we're seeing now, man. That's not the same player no more.
Okay, he has matured. He has shown growth. Mm-hmm. I will admit that. But I've watched a few games. I watched a few big games on this year. He's gotten like 3 fouls in the first quarter, man. And Tibbs will keep him on, and then it had to sit him for the rest of the first half. Just like you know what I'm saying? It's just like you get those first 2 quick fouls. I'm done. And your rhythm's done. You're like, I gotta make up those points. And he's not mature enough to have that understanding. I just remember last year when Anthony Edwards was sunning him, and he's like 2-3 years older than Anthony Davis in the press conference about the stupid fouls and stuff. I just thought that was weird.
Yeah.
You know, so I just
in the playoffs.
Yeah, and it was so frustrating because like, yo, if you could just get it together, like they should have won the championship with that team last year. They should have beat Dallas. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is.
Two things. Number one, I want to disagree with everything Batch said.
Sure.
Well, I shouldn't say everything. The only thing I would say is you have this expectation that like Tibbs is going to have a bench. Tibbs don't have no bench.
My faith is not in Tibbs. My faith is not in Tibbs. My faith is actually in Leon Rose on how he actually structured this team, and a lot of people are sleeping on him. Yeah, I think he did a good job.
I'm not talking about if they don't have enough talent on the bench. I agree they do. I'm saying Tibbs ain't playing more than 7 guys in the playoffs. You are going to have to fire him for them guys to be able to play more. So I hope.
And he's running them into the ground. He's playing them into the ground.
He's playing. Right? He's playing Bridges like 40 minutes a game. Like there was a stretch he was playing them 40 minutes at one point. I'm like, why is he doing this in January?
Because they don't have another small forward to play that position, and that's where Mikal Bridges goes to because they don't have no other guy to back him up. Because they got the shooting guard position with Miles McBride, they got the point guard position. Mm-hmm. Or I mean, you can even throw Cameron Payne.
McBride. He's on the size guard. He's an undersized guard too.
He's not
but in terms of getting buckets, that kid is going to get buckets.
Yeah, he loves this. He loves the big moment. We're not going to dispute that. I'm not going to dispute that. My thing is, okay, see, he's going to take those shots. Is he going to hit those shots? We're going to find out.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's crazy. The way I talk about this, I'm going to sound like a Knicks fan, and I'm nowhere close to that.
Hey, I wish we could fast forward. I wish Biff had that almanac. We could just fast forward to the playoffs right now and check if your theory is correct. But I'm going to tell you this. But good.
Or like edit and chop it up in the playoffs.
Yeah. That's what we do.
And just chop it and slice it in there.
I can't wait because I think we know how this ends. We'll wait. I want to wait.
Listen, I hope I'm wrong.
Because
I hope I'm wrong when it comes to Tibbs. Follow
the Knicks even with a fine-tooth comb,
please,
going forward. Because I've been watching them, and I'm like, even your boy Stephen A's like, nah.
Man, he's a goof. Man,
I know he is.
He is.
But you think they can? It's all about the matchups. They got it. So they're third. Yeah. They gotta get. They're best bet,
and it's about Towns. Like Towns, defensively has to be disciplined. Like that to me is the X factor. He's got to be disciplined. And I mean,
he's lucky he's no longer in the West, so there's not a long line of bigs to get to the finals, right?
Yeah, and he's been great this year. Like he has been great. He's been great this year. But the defensive discipline is what I'm concerned about with him in the playoffs because I wouldn't say I love, but I've been ripping him for years defensively in the playoffs. Like he just the mistakes he makes defensively is idiotic. You know what I mean? For such a guy like a vet at this point of his career. You know what I mean?
Batch is claiming that this kid got baptized by the Holy Ghost and there's a new cat now. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see.
He's saying it's holy water. It still might be a quarter water.
Nah, it's that New York water. It's that New York water. That's what it is. Yeah, see, he's back in he's close enough to his old stomping grounds. Back Brick City, baby. Nah, man, he's resurrected, man. He's a different guy. He's back with the same coach he had back in Minnesota. I think he's good, man. I think he'll be all right. Now, mind you, it comes down to coaching, but at the same time, if he goes down because of those knucklehead mistakes, they got people to go ahead and back him up, and they got 3 of them from what I know of. And Mitchell Robinson, well, we'll leave him out because he's not back officially, but when he comes back, that's one of them. You can mix it up with Precious Achua, and then even so, no, they got rid of Jericho Sims, but you can still.
Oh, they did? They traded him away?
They traded him, yeah.
He was just a body.
But that's just it because they already know what they have. It's just a matter of these guys getting healthy. We're now going into the second half of the season, so now we got to actually really pay attention to what these guys are going to do. I think the pieces they have assembled already waiting, stand by, call it what you want. The New York Knicks are going to be a problem, but I still feel that Cleveland is the problem that is waiting there they're not worried about anybody. I think Boston, if anything, is probably more worried about these two teams, if anything.
And the one thing I'll say to that too is number one, Hail Okongwu. Sorry, I have to throw that shot in. The other part is I have to throw that in. Yeah. So no, the other part is with Boston is, to Jan's point, is like they know how to win. I'm not saying they're not unbeatable because they shoot so many threes that
I know.
Depending on the scheme, depending on how they're shooting, you could play yourself out of that too. You know what I mean? But like the one thing I do respect with Boston, as much as I hate all the threes, they shoot good shots. Like a lot of their threes are good open three. Like by the time like they're shooting a three, it's a good three. And I'm like, yo, that's a.
Do you notice when they make subs? Do you notice when they make subs? There's like not much of a drop off.
Yeah.
It's like a plug and play. Plug in and play.
Yep. Pritchard could come and do 20.
They're coasting right now, and they're just waiting to get to the. They're just coasting. I just think they're going to turn it up in the playoffs. It's just because they know they can hit that gear and they can flip that switch.
And that's why and that's why the number one seed isn't the biggest thing for them. It's
exactly because they know they can beat anyone in their gym.
Yeah,
you can't beat us in 4 games.
It's all about staying healthy. It's all about staying healthy and just being in rhythm for the playoffs. Don't get me wrong. I love Cleveland too. I love what's happening there too. But I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like free Okongwu. Before we wrap.
Yo, back to getting
every time. Listen, I get super brittle when I see the fact that I let this guy go and Cal, out of all people, picked him up. Picked him up.
Dude. Did you tell him you dropped it?
No, I dropped him. And the crazy
I didn't know you had him.
I've had him for the last 3 years.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, let me ask you this. How did you find out that Calvin picked it up? Did he tell you?
Because I went back and I was like, yo, I'm a dummy. I need to go get him back. Looking. Type his name in, and it shows he's on his team. I'm like, Cal, see. Oh. I went ahead and mind you, this is on my train ride going in the morning too. I just did one of these with my phone. I literally I'm like, yo, I gotta find this guy. Saw the name. I'm like, I went ahead, punching
the air, eh?
Yeah. I put my head on the window like this. I said, I'm going to sleep.
Yeah.
I got my alarm clock. It'll wake me up when it's time to get to Union Station. I'm out of here. I'm going to bed.
Yeah. Oh, punching the air like Cuba Gooding. It's all good. It's all good.
Wow.
But before
I feel your pain because Calvin, of all people, Calvin. Oh, that sucks, guy.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. And I picked up Collier too. He's been balling. Like kid on Utah. That was a sneaky surprise for me.
Yeah, because this guy Keontae George is not doing me any justice right now. And I'm like, yo, who's taking this guy's minutes? And I realized, I was like, Collier ended up taking his minutes. And I'm like, oh, let me go grab him now. Cal got him. I'm like, yo, what is happening right now?
This guy, yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah, man.
I don't even want to know because Calvin, my cousin, I don't even know. So he made an account for me and all that. I didn't do it. It was all him. So if I'm still there, I don't know nothing of that. So I was counseling my cousin, and then he stopped because he's a spaz. He doesn't think. He has no game plan. So I was just counseling him, and he was doing well. And we stopped talking, and then he just like Calvin told me, "Yo, you gotta help him." So I can only imagine what foolishness he's got himself into now.
I don't know.
Right?
Maybe I'll send him a trade request tomorrow. See what happens.
Easy sale. You'll get him.
Can I snip this part out of the pod and just send it to him directly?
No, please, don't do it. I don't hear his mouth.
But last thing before we wrap up though, what teams do you guys expect to make a run in the second half of the year?
Make a run that hasn't already made a run?
Like make a run, not to win the title, but just to make a strong run going into the playoffs. I have two. I know Cleveland and Boston, all those teams. I expect them, and OKC. I expect them to do what they're. So I'm not even including them. I expect those guys to do what they're going to do. I have two.
Memphis won, and I think Golden State might do it too.
I was thinking about that. I need more games to see, but I like what I saw. I think the fact that Jimmy Butler gets to the line so much more than they anticipated helps them. When you get I won Who Put Up Canada because we had a big man, and this guy went to work. He got us in the bonus quick. So just imagine you get into the bonus and you got you're already a great free throw shooting team, right? You shoot threes. These guys can run around while he's inside because they got no one that could post up and
get baskets, like consistent baskets. Right? Yeah.
Because they're always looking for that big man, but they never got it. But now they have a guard that could post up. Wiggins was doing it, but he was inconsistent. That's not his game, really. Butler is a bully in the post, and he knows how to draw fouls and to get to the line. He shoots like almost 10 free throws a game.
Yep.
That's only going to complement whatever. And then you're playing him alongside defensive with Draymond, who's a high basketball IQ guy, who's intimidating on the defensive end, who's still got something to prove. I will agree with that.
And you still have Kuminga. You still have Kuminga. That's.
Oh, he's hurt too, right?
Yeah, but he's he comes back probably like next month.
I got one more. The Clippers.
Yes.
You just stole mine. That was one of them for me.
Yeah.
You just stole mine, you bastard. You just stole
Ben Simmons. The Ben Simmons thing is a sneak pickup. And I thought this guy done. I thought his career was done, but I think Ty Lue, if there's anyone that can get something out of that guy, Ty Lue will get that kid focused. And already the sample size has been, you're seeing, like, regardless of what he can do offensively, you don't need that. You want him as a Swiss Army knife defensively to cover whatever you need in the playoffs. He's a big body. He's 6'10". He can cover guards. He can switch. You can switch with him and don't have to worry because he's probably a better defender than some of the guards that you got on your front line.
You talking about Benjamin?
Yeah.
Listen, I know I was done, but what I saw, I was interesting. I need more. If he can keep this up,
it's where he is on the pay grade scale. He's a seventh or eighth man on this team.
Yeah,
that's a good move. If he was your fourth best player, probably
or
eighth, great pickup.
But you can
always yank him.
They're micromanaging him and saying, "Hey, this is what it is. This is all we need you to do. Every time you get on the floor, we want a positive shift, rebounds, steals, and
transition.
A shot attempt.
Yep,
transition. Yeah, that's all they want him. Play make.
Yep.
Be Draymond for the Clippers."
Basically,
he don't got that kind of motor. I don't think.
No, but if you could get for his skill set, his athleticism, we don't know what you got because of this back problems he had or where his head is at. I thought Brooklyn, he was damaged. It looked like he was done. It's so weird. Like when you have a change of scenery, how it could just and around good people, around a secure group of people that are uplifting you and got your back. You could do wonders. The world has already said, "Yo, we don't care about you. Quit. Walk away, please."
Yeah.
And he's still here. So I don't know, man.
And to add, he's got a home. He's got a home in LA too.
I don't like it. He's one of my least favorite players. Him,
for sure.
Paul George, these guys. But I will say this: yes,
Paul George.
I can't wait for Paul George to come up.
Come up where? Like in 2K, right?
It's like I was hoping because you said
2K.
But we'll see. We'll see. Time will tell. I think in the role that he's at, he'll be very impactful for what the Clippers are doing. Kawhi is getting better. Kawhi's happy being third fiddle until he gets back to where he is. Norman Powell and Harden are doing the thing. Zubac is doing some stuff. That the Jones kids catching lobs.
Yeah.
And Ty Lue.
They've been great. And to your point, Kawhi's happy with this third spot, but I think they know they're just keeping him ready until April, May. And then he goes back to being number. Yeah, do your thing. Everybody do your thing. But
50 step backs, go for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Norman has already seen that side of him in Toronto. So
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, he knows.
He knows. Yeah, he knows.
He knows.
Just gotta get those legs together. If he can get those legs together.
Last 2 weeks of April, you're gonna. My prediction is you're gonna see that shift where all of a sudden, because you're starting to see Kawhi take more shots now. Like you're starting to see the.
You see, it's so methodical. It's so methodical how he does it. I love watching him play because he just gets to a spot. It's no unnecessary dribbling or unnecessary anything. Everything is timed perfectly. Oh, this is what you're doing? I'm going to go here, and there's nothing you could do about it.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So
he's one of my favorite players, even though he drives me mad with the injuries too, but he's one of my favorite players to watch. I love watching Kawhi play. Look, I'm wearing the shirt, right? I love watching him play.
The whole night I was trying to make out, what is that? I was just trying to make what does that say? I couldn't.
It's a championship. Shout out to the bro. Shout out to the bro. But Big Brother Curtis when he made that shirt during the Raptors championship.
Oh, he made that?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that made during the championship run. You see if you see right here the Golden State shirt that's torn in the Curry shirt that's torn. That's after they won, right?
Wow.
Yeah, he made the championship. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, shout out to him for that. But the Clippers was one of my teams. The other team, I think, just look at the standings where I think could go for the play-in is the Spurs. I see them as getting into the 8th or 9th seed or something like that. Because I see one of those two teams like I think Sacramento's in the 9th spot. I see them kind of dropping. I see them. I could see the Spurs with the Fox trade, especially. I could see them skipping over Phoenix, and I could see them skipping over the Kings. You know what I mean? But I'm not saying they're gonna make that. I think the NBA would love to see them at least be an 8th seed, but I don't know if they're gonna get that far. But there's gonna be some shifting because I think Golden State's gonna be interesting. They're also lacking a quality big men, even though they have Jackson Davis or whatever. Davis.
There's a new big that they're.
I'm Post. Sorry, I'm Post. Yeah. Post.
I'm gonna say
he can shoot too.
Sorry?
He can shoot too. Quentin Post, he can shoot.
He can.
I'm gonna add Denver. I'm gonna say Denver.
Yeah.
I think they've been surging. They're currently on an 8-game win streak. I think I was questioning the Westbrook addition. Since they put him into the starting lineup, he's complimented them on both ends of the floor. They've learned to acclimate him into their offense. It's seamless. It's like a perfect fit. And he gives them that veteran fire, that spark, So I think Denver and Jokic. Murray seems to be caught his legs back. His confidence.
Yeah, I think Murray felt your energy the last couple of pods.
Yeah.
Oh, that man's been going crazy.
Yeah, 55. Yeah, 55. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last game. Yeah.
Yeah. So crazy. I think he's found his rhythm. He's back. So now he just has to maintain heading into the playoffs. He's already done it.
But the confidence, you're seeing that swagger's back.
I'm telling you, whenever you have lower extreme injuries to your legs, it takes away, and you can't do the things that you do. It does something to your mind. Yeah. So it takes 100%. Some time to figure out the new you, what that is. You know what I'm saying? And then moving forward. So kudos to him on that journey because he's gone through it a few times to rediscover himself. And let's see what this leads him.
Yeah, but you can see the swagger's back. You see that bounce in the step. Like you're seeing it back, like you're like, oh, okay, this is the Murray that Kobe invited to his workout that summer before.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
this is the guy that we're seeing.
I'm intrigued to see what Memphis is. I know Ja Morant's been in and out, but they're still stable. Bane looks like he's starting to regain his form from before he got injured, and I like Memphis. Edie's doing well, filling that big man role. I like the fact he's got a little chip on his shoulder. He's chippy.
Yeah,
he's a typical big guy, bruiser. So we'll see. Like it's exciting. Like I'm excited to see what happens with my Lakers.
Jeez.
Okay, so I just
go back to Memphis again. Go back to Memphis.
There's no glitch. There's no glitch there, guys. There's no glitch. Oh man, but I'm excited to see what happens. This is like the part of the season, like, the first half is like, okay, it's good. Everyone's like positioning for seeding and so forth. But like second half, we'll see who's real and who's not before the playoffs.
Yeah, man. My last question, but I don't even want to talk about Philly. We'll save them for another time.
Save it for another time.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about them at this point. But rest in peace to that team's season. And free Maxey. Free Maxey. Free Tyrese Maxey.
You think they fired Nurse? Do you think they let go Nurse?
No. He's not the problem.
You think they fire what's my man there?
Maury?
Maury.
No. You should.
They should, yeah, but no.
I think he
will stay. Nurse will go first before him.
Yes.
That's unfair.
Nurse will go first.
That's unfair. That's unfair.
Yeah, but they're not going to get rid of. They already made their investment. They're 4 years. Like they got 4 more years of this.
I think it's time for you to pull the Luka move in.
Well,
you got to trade Embiid. Trade Embiid. Trade Embiid, man.
For who?
I don't know, but trade him. You got Maxey. Trade him. Find somebody else. You got to go, man. It's kind of made moves.
But Maxey, but look at Maxey. Maxey is butting up himself with all these little knick-knack injuries because he's forcing the issue, because he tried to be on the court to put up numbers and to kind of get them competitive, and he's killing himself.
Who's that remind you of, though?
What?
Yeah, Tibbs.
Nah, no. I'm talking about Maxey. Who's that remind you of? That's a young AI. That's a young AI right there. That's what you want in Philly right now. You bring back that type of flair, you're going to bring back exactly what the league needs. Players that resemble the other players from back in the day, and they're here now to the present. Embiid, who does he resemble? I don't know. A character from The Wizard of Oz. He's not existent to me. I don't know. This guy bothers me to the core.
He does.
I know he does. I know he does.
Because he took his gift for granted, and now, not to say it's too late, it's so much damage done to his body because he wasn't eating right, he wasn't training right, and he took those years for granted that he should have been playing and taking care of himself. If he was at a good weight, those legs would have been a lot more sturdier to hold himself up. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that this guy was not in shape and he wasn't eating properly, bragging about cheeseburgers and all that McDonald's before his game. Like, come on, dude. Are you serious about winning?
Yeah.
Was he really?
He's not. To me, he's not. He doesn't exemplify winning. He doesn't show it. So it shows me that. Look at Maxey. In their team meeting, he called him out. That's leadership because he gets it. And it's wow. You're getting leadership from the young point guard and not the staple,
not the MVP
that they put all their money into. Right? So that's a problem. So I don't think that organization will ever win because Embiid has the wrong mindset. You would think after this summer, being around all those players, that would have motivated his ass to do better, to do more. And we're still in the same position.
But I disagree with you. I disagree with you.
Different results. What is that called, guys?
Jan, I disagree with you. I disagree with you. You know why I disagree with you? Because he shouldn't have been in the Olympics in the first place.
Agreed. But I'll
never understand how you finished the season the way he finished.
And he wasn't in shape.
I'll never understand it.
And they didn't play him because he wasn't in shape.
Yeah,
like what games that were slow that were catered to his style.
Yeah, like when they let Kawhi go for the Olympic squad, I was like, okay, I guess Embiid's next, and then I'm like, wait a minute, he's on the trip. like that made no sense to me, man.
You could tell guys are pissed with that guy. You could tell they were getting frustrated with him. You could tell he was just out of shape. He was using the games to get in shape. I was like, this was a Shaq 2.0. Come on.
And it's funny because we said we weren't going to talk about Philly, but to your point, Max. No, it's all good. Not Maxey. Oh my gosh, what's the boy's name again? I'm bad with names tonight. My age is showing. What's his name again, man?
PG? Paul George?
No, not Paul George. Kelly.
Oh, Oubre.
Kelly Oubre. Jeez, my God. Yeah, so Kelly Oubre, like you see that right before the All-Star break when they had that spasm when they were playing Detroit because I forgot who he didn't get back on defense and he basically like Embiid just let that guy get that layup easy. And then he was going off on to the point where Embiid had to hug him. And I was like, yeah, this is just man. And you listen, you know how hard it is for me to admit this to Batch? I keep saying that, that I basically have to come off this Embiid bandwagon. I love Embiid. I love the way he plays. But I'm like, but that stuff, all the extra ancillary stuff is what frustrates the hell out of me. You know what I mean? And I'm like, after the playoffs last year, I was like, I'm like, yo, I'm done. I got to come off this wagon. Like, I'm done. And it's like, and he's proven me right, unfortunately.
Oh, for real, man.
He's proven me right. And then you brought in Paul George for $50 million a year for the next 4 years.
Yeah, man. That's crazy.
Got 2 points, dude. 1 for 7.
Yo.
They're saying that he's been taking shots just to get in the court. Dude, sit your ass home.
Down. Yep.
Like he doesn't look he looks disinterested. So Maxey didn't play, Embiid didn't play. He looked disinterested. Grimes and Oubre had to go out for 30. Yeah. Make it make sense, right? He's catching the ball. He's catching the ball. He's catching the ball and he's swinging that like the ball like it's a grenade.
Yeah.
He's swinging it. He's playing defense though.
Yeah.
I'll give him this. He's playing defense, but he looks
no explosiveness.
So there's more, huh?
It's like there's no explosiveness almost at this point.
He's not whole. It's obvious.
Yeah, something's going on. Something's definitely off. But
it looks bad because he's doing the podcast. He's talking. He's tone deaf.
I know.
Like over the years, like dude, Damian Lillard sent you home, and you say it's a bad shot. He still hit it to send your ass home. Make it make sense, right? Then he's talking about like he just does weird things that I don't understand. So I was just like, dude, don't. He said this summer. This is what I want to say. He said this summer, I'm gonna go on my big bully shit this year. I'm gonna bully people. I'm gonna like put the league on notice. And look at the sample size we've had to this point. It looks bad. Stop talking. Let your actions do the talking. Play. Stop podcasting. Take a break. I want to know if he did a podcast after that 2-point, because that's saying something.
Yeah, my prediction is some of these player pods during the season is going to stop. You know, by the time this new TV contract kicks in.
Oh, for sure they're going to.
Something's changing. Yeah. There's some changes coming to the league.
They're getting too much power. They say these players are getting too much power. They're getting too much influence. Their opinions are too volatile.
Yeah, there's some changes coming. I think there's some changes coming in the next year. I think we're going to be talking a lot about them. But let's wrap it up here, fellas. Thank you, as always for hopping on and and having these NBA talks, man. These basketball talks. For sure. If we could do this again next month, let's do it. If we could do this another 30 days from now, let's do it. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all.
Listen, thank you for having me. I love talking basketball and sharing ideas with smart people like Batch. Yeah, outside of I was trying to keep a straight face. Sorry. Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
I love you, man. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see what happens come playoff time, man.
I know. I can't. Hey, Batch, I can't wait, boy. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for Biff to come knock on my door with that almanac.
You better pray that the Lakers actually do what they're supposed to do, man.
Hey, I'm holding. Hey, I'll wait.
Yeah.
Time will tell.
And in the meantime, Okongwu. All right.
Wow. Okay. You know what? On that one, you take my ass to sleep. I got work in the morning.